that like war and like ratings and like entertainment and not so big on facts or truth or reality. It's the fake news industry, and the kings of fake news, without a doubt, not CNN. Nope. I may hate CNN, but they aren't the worst. They aren't the worst. MSNBC? Well, they're not as good as they were back in the day with Olbermann and Cenk Uygur and Crystal Ball and such. No. But they're okay. But the absolute kings of made-up fake news. Made-up fake news stories meant to push a political narrative and agenda is by far the fake news channel. Fox is the only supposed news channel I've ever seen that had to change their catchphrase because they weren't actually fair and balanced. They've gone so far off the deep end that they actually have white supremacist hosts now. I mean, you have Tucker Carlson and Laura Ingraham talking about the Great Replacement Theory, talking about how white birth rates have gone down and that there's an entity trying to replace the white race. Just idiotic stuff. Having them side with the Taliban on gender rights. Having them side with the Russians and Trump during the 2016 election scandal and deny clear quid pro quo that would have gotten Trump impeached. You have the fake wars on Christmas, Thanksgiving, Easter. All of these lead me to believe that when it comes to BS fake news, Fox News is king. I mean, despite the carnage and chaos that took place at Kabul airport, Fox News is still pushing anti-refugee talking points. You can't have wanted the war to end, then say no to Afghans wanting to seek refuge from the Taliban. Otherwise, they're just going to get slaughtered. Are you okay with that, Tucker Carlson? Are you okay with one of Trump's allies being a Muslim theocratic dictatorship that beheads teenage protesters like Saudi Arabia does? You know? And to say that the Taliban is right to not have, quote, gender politics pushed onto them, and that they're just revolting against that is insane and really shows your inner sexism. Tucker Carlson is an out and about white supremacist fake news king. Now, I want everyone listening to this to read, I want you to read Roger Ailes' secret Nixon-era blueprint for Fox News. This was a memo. Their plan was to put the GOP on TV news back then. This was during the Nixon era. Then 20 years later, bam, comes Rush Limbaugh in the 90s. Then bam, here comes Fox News out of nowhere from the depths of The Simpsons. Because The Simpsons, they basically created Fox. Made them mainstream. But anyway. Excuse me. This memo I'm talking about called A Plan for Putting the GOP on TV News is included in a 318-page cache of documents detailing Roger Ailes' work for both the Nixon and George H.W. Bush administrations that these people that I'm reading off of, I don't know who wrote this article, but that they obtained from the Nixon and Bush presidential libraries. Through his firms REA Productions and Ailes Communications Inc., Ailes served as paying consultants to both presidents in the 70s and 90s, offering detailed and shrewd advice ranging from what ties to wear to how to keep the pressure up on Saddam Hussein on the run-up to the first Gulf War. Nixon and Ailes wanted a partisan pro-GOP news operation to sideline liberal criticism and deliver prepackaged pro-Nixon news to local TV. It's the proto-Fox News, and it's the exact result of the first modern Republican, one of the most evil politicians in history, and easily in the top 3 worst presidents of all time, Richard Nixon. So yes, the kings of fake news is Fox, and Nixon is their god.